Like most of us, CBS Sports had a lot of time on their hands, so they decided to go back in since the turn of the century, 2000, and figure out which team or which year was the best draft year for each team. And they come with, just off the top of your head, can you imagine what they came up with as far as the Browns are concerned, the best draft year for them?
How many years back?
20.
20 years?
Yeah, since they came back in 1999.
Boy, it's hard to think of one. I guess it would be a more recent one, right?
Yeah.
When Myles Garrett came out number one, that would be my guess.
Well, that's the 2018 one, and they're going all the way back to I guess the Courtney Brown era. Here's what they have now. This is the best draft class since 2000, according to CBS Sports. Baker Mayfield, a quarterback, round 1, first pick.
Oh, I see.
Round 1,
yep.
Fourth pick was Denzel-Ward. Austin-Corbett gets round 2, 33rd pick of the draft. Round 2, 35th was Nick-Chubb. So right there you've got, between your franchise quarterback, we assume, Baker Mayfield, then Denzel-Ward, and Nick-Chubb. That's 3 out of the 4 that they took. Round 3, 67th pick, that's Chad Thomas, the defensive end. Round 4, pick 105, Antonio-Callaway, that's a bust. Pick 150 is Genard-Avery. Damion-Ratley is the 6th round pick, 175, and the 6th round pick, 188, is Simeon Thomas. So that's the best they've got since the Courtney Brown draft, I guess.
Yeah, you try to think of like the Joe Thomas year, right? But I can't remember anybody other than Joe Thomas from that draft.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Brady Quinn was in it, but certainly he wouldn't be a guy that would recommend it one of the better drafts.
All right, so Brian Diardo from CBS Sports gives you the reason for how they picked it. Cleveland's 2018 class, led by number 1 overall pick Baker Mayfield, should be on its way to surpassing the team's 2010 class, a group that included cornerback Joe-Haden, safety T.J. Ward, and guard Sean Lavulo. Along with Mayfield, who's looking to bounce back, the Browns' 2018 class includes cornerback Denzel-Ward, 2018 Pro Bowler, and a running back, Nick-Chubb, a Pro Bowler last season after rushing for 1,494 yards and 8 touchdowns, while averaging 5 yards per carry. The Browns also picked another couple of solid contributors, such as Austin-Corbett, Chad Thomas, and Genard-Avery. So if they're right, it looks like they're not only set for right now, but next couple of years.
Yeah, even though a couple of those guys, Avery, of course, isn't here anymore. Right. But yeah, it's not hard to figure out. I mean, it's not as simple as saying the drafts have been the reason why this organization has been so poor for so long. But certainly they've been a big part of it, along with the head coach and the inability to find a quarterback. So I'm in that Baker Mayfield camp where I'm not thrilled with some of the things he does. I don't think he's very mature or has been very mature. But I still think he's closer to what we saw in the end of his rookie year than what we saw last year.
Well, and if he's not, all the picks around him that seem to be good now to build up this 2018 draft, if he's not the right guy, then they get set back a couple more years after that.
Yeah, I thought the really smart thing they did in that draft was take Chubb where they took Chubb and not jumped on a running back in the top 5 that year. Not that I don't value them, I just think that it's usually a deep position, and as good as Saquon Barkley is, I don't know that people would make that trade right now and give up Nick Chubb for him, and because I just think that Chubb is that close right now.